Do 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 do. Come on, baby, let's dye the twist. Hey, how's it going? I'm Nancy Gamon. I'm just getting ready to twist up some fabric and dye it into a pretty striped scarf. I'll show you just how it's done. I'm starting with a long piece of 100% bamboo rayon that is in the dimensions I thought would be attractive for a scarf. Using the sewing machine, I ran a zigzag stitch along the raw edge using thread that was 100% cotton so that the thread would dye nicely along with the fabric. I just zigzagged to help retain the fraying a little bit. So I'm going to start by folding the scarf in half crossways, or crosswise, I guess, so that it's not quite so long. And then I'm going to do that one more time. So it's kind of a smaller rectangular bundle here. And I'm just going to kind of loosely gather it up here and then start twisting. I'm going to twist the fabric kind of firmly. The twisted areas will act as a resist where the fabric stays light colored and doesn't take the dye, and that will create kind of a zebra stripy effect that I'm after. So once it's firm, I'm just going to sort of fold it in half and let it twist itself into something that sort of reminds me of a fancy pastry or something. It's a little bit of a knot. And I'm going to put that into my dyeing pan. I have a plastic bin here that I've put a cooling rack on, and then just a metal pan that has holes punched in the bottom for drainage. I'm going to put the knot at one end, and I have this medical pan that I'm going to put alongside it just to kind of make the area a little bit smaller. When I put the ice cubes on, it will help hold the ice kind of in this spot. And I'm going to cover the fabric with a damp rag. Sometimes in the process, not all of the powdered dye turns to liquid, and if it hits the fabric, sometimes it leaves little spots. So I just like to put a protective rag on top of the fabric. I'll tuck it in a little bit so I can see where my project is. Now I'm ready to cover the project with a layer of ice cubes. My little pan was kind of slipping a little bit, so I put a container of soda ash in to prop it up. And now I'm ready to sprinkle on the Procion Fiber Reactive Dyes, starting with Dances with Raisins in the center of the knot. And then on one end, I'm going to put Wedgewood Blue, which is kind of almost a lilac-y soft blue. And then on the other end, I'll put a color called Wasabi, which is kind of a brownish green. And now I'm ready to let the project sit overnight, about 22 to 24 hours, for the ice to melt and the colors to seep into the fabric. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, I think we have some yummy colors in this scarf. There's a little bit, oh my gosh. Oh, I think I'm in love. This is going to be fabulous. Lots of good little whispers as one color blends into another. So this created just, wow, a super nice array of stripes of colors that move from one to another. And then this is just half of it, I think. So we have a great big long gorgeous scarf now, good for us. So the next step is to take this to the deep sink and rinse it out under cold running water until the water runs clear. And then I'm going to wash it in hot water with a sploosh of textile detergent. And then I'm going to rinse the detergent out, and then let the scarf soak in hot water with a splash of retain or dye fixative, and then rinse that out in cold water. Then the scarf will be ready to dry, press with a hot iron, and wear and enjoy. So I'm going to take care of that washing behind the scenes and then be back with you with our finished scarf. I think we're gonna love this. Here's the completed scarf, washed, dried, and pressed with a very hot iron. Sometimes fabric can look a little dull after the rinsing, but I find that pressing it with a very hot iron really brings out the little whispers of color. Something interesting about ice dyeing is how you can get more colors than you sprinkle on. The wasabi green that I was expecting kind of broke out into an orange and turquoise in this scarf, creating some really interesting splashes of color. I look forward to seeing how you put your own twist on this technique. This video's been free to watch thanks to the generous support of my patrons. I'd love for you to join the community too. Head on over to patreon.com/Nancy Gamon and choose your rewards. I'll see you next time. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.